help them reach their goals. So, Dr. You can take over. Unmute your mic. Unmute your mic, Daktari. I think you're still on mute. We can't hear you.
I am unmuted.
Good. Now we can hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, clearly.
It's a pleasure to meet all of you. I see most of you. I don't think I've directly met any one of you other than Bishop. It's been years. Bishop.
Me and Pamela.
It's been years.
Many years and years and years,
Yeah,
man.
yeah. So thank you so much for the invitation. My name is Job Mogire, but where I come from, they call me Chobu. I am currently based in the US. I'm a cardiologist here in the United States. I was a doctor in Kenya for 8 years before I decided to move to Europe. Then I came over to this side. But beyond practicing medicine, one of my deepest commitments is this work of helping people expand their capacity for more, capacity to be more impactful, more influential. And I hope that what we share today will help you find some deeper clarity, at least in one crucial area, to help you make 2026 count for more. Today is 7th of February, which means by end of next week, we will be 45 days into 2026. Can you believe it? 1/8 of the year is over. Before we know it, we will be through the first quarter, and just like that. So the reality is that 2026 is today. But most importantly, 2026 is this moment. It is now. What you do right now, what you are able to do right now, colors everything that this year is going to be. And so any of the sessions I do directly are practical. Therefore, I want to see a confirmation that you have a pen and paper. I would like to know that you have pen and paper and that you will be able to actually do the work. I believe the deepest hinge point, the deepest pivot, the most influential facet of what will happen to you or for you in 2026 is awareness. So I want to give you a very quick exercise. I want you to bring awareness to 6 pillars, just 6. What you will do is you will rate yourself, you will score yourself on a scale of 1 to 10 on each of these pillars I will give you. If you score 1, it means it is so low, you can't even register it. If it's 10, it means you are right on point. But you cannot use 7. You score yourself on a scale of 1 to 10 where you rank, but you cannot use 7. So here they are. The first one is order. When it comes to order, your capacity to order your life day to day, according to your purpose, the way you understand it, and your personal vision, where would you rank? Where would you rate yourself? Where are you operating? Are you operating at a level 2, a level 4, level 6, level 8, level 10? You cannot use 7. Rate yourself. The second one is energy. On a scale of 1 to 10. Day by day, regular day by day, how much energy are you bringing to each day? Is it a 2? Is it a 4? Is it a 6, an 8, a 10? You cannot use 7. The next one is clarity. Clarity. And clarity is very easy to see. Clarity becomes very easy to see based on how quickly you make the decisions that need to be made, how quickly you take the actions. If you find yourself waiting to feel ready before you even make simple decisions, you are operating from obfuscation, from a blurry vision, from lack of clarity. So on a scale of 1 to 10, where would you rate your clarity? Is it a 2? Is it a 4, 6, 8, 10? You cannot use 7. The next one is desire. Desire. Desire is different from what you think. If desire is not emotional, if you do not feel it, it's not desire. Here is the simplest way to think about desire. Have you ever been in love, or have you ever been deeply attracted to someone? You see that feeling, that tangible feeling? When you are dealing with someone or something you feel something about, that is desire. So on a scale of 1 to 10, where would you rate the intensity, the tangibility, the truth of the desire that you show up with to your work, to your purpose, to your commitment? The next one is probably one of the most important ones, especially for leaders. Pillar number 5 is ownership. Ownership. There is no end to complaining and comparison and criticism and competition until ownership becomes personal. So that even if, whether you are part of a church, part of an organization, part of a group, when you own the part that you are responsible for, you fully own it. You fully own your performance. You fully own how you show up, how much order you bring, how much energy, clarity, desire. There's no next level until your ownership goes to the next level. If you can exercise more ownership, there's no next level, because next level requires more responsibility, and more responsibility without ownership is escape, is just occupying a position for the sake of occupying a position. So on a scale of 1 to 10, where would you rate your ownership? Ownership of your results, of your actions, of your direction, of your consistency, of your order in 2026. Where would you rate your ownership? Pillar number 6 is the culmination of all of them. All these pillars, they all boil down to pillar number 6, and pillar number 6 is capacity. Capacity. Capacity asks you a very simple question. If God gave you what you're praying for today, do you have the capacity to manage it? Do you have the capacity to sustain it? Do you have the capacity to steward it? Because when you receive more than you have the capacity for, it is not a blessing. If in your house you only have enough space for 50 liters of water, and I deliver to you 1,000 liters of water, that's not a blessing. That's a flood. And the difference is, you don't have the capacity. Sometimes God holds back the blessings we are praying for because we are not ready. Some of us, if we were given 20 million today, it will destroy our life because we don't have the capacity. And how do I know that? When you have 25,000 hanging around in M-Pesa, you can't rest. When there is cake at home, you can't rest. Or ice cream, a part of you is like, I need to scoop it. I'm just really giving you very general examples because hopefully it helps you see it. So on a scale of 1 to 10, when it comes to what you desire, what God has put in your heart, where would you rate your capacity today? Your capacity to receive it, to sustain it, and steward it. Because if a big blessing arrives in your life, If a big blessing arrives in your life and you are not ready, either the blessing or you is going to suffer. Either the blessing disappears from your life or the blessing breaks you. Which is why I love the prayer of Jabez, that you may expand my territory, right? In other words, expand your capacity. If you receive more of anything than you are ready for, it's not a blessing. And so sometimes we are praying and working and desiring and setting goals, and we don't remember to build capacity. If all we talked about today is the 6 pillars that I have given you, and you made progress on just these pillars, 2026 will look different. So let's look through your numbers. And this is where we get real. This is about awareness. You get real with yourself. When it comes to order, what number did you get? When it comes to energy, what number did you get? Clarity, what number did you give yourself? Desire, ownership, and capacity. Of these 3 ingredients, the two that are most accessible that you can make a change in right now, starting today, is order and energy. Order, that is the one area that you can make the most impact, and that's one of the key areas we will talk about today. The second one is energy. I want you to pay attention. Don't change anything. I want you to pay attention to how you are seated, okay? Don't move. Just pay attention how you're seated, okay? And what everything feels like, okay? And now I want you to just make one change. If somebody who was at a 10/10 energy level was seated in your position, what posture might they be seated in? Just see what we are doing practical stuff, and if you work with me, you will see that I deal with practical. How would that person, like someone who is a 10/10, how would they sit? What would their body feel like? It's the position and how you breathe. The two most accessible is order and energy. Now, here's something that sometimes we don't think about. You don't have energy, you generate energy. You don't have energy, you generate energy. If you want to move to the next level, you have to stop relying on rest to give you energy and start generating energy. If I give you a generator today, I delivered a new generator to your house and you put it in the corner, it's not a generator. It's a machine. It's not a generator. When does it become a generator? When it has fuel and it's turned on. If I got you to move on a consistent basis, to start intentionally exercising on a consistent basis, without a doubt, your energy level will rise. Your energy level goes higher. That is number one. Number two, everything else changes. Your mood, your rest, your sleep, even the things you feel like eating change. And so that's why I talk to you as both a doctor and a coach. Because order and energy, those are the keys that unlock the rest. Your clarity, your desire, your ownership and capacity, those are the additional layers. Where you begin with is order and energy. You don't have energy, you generate energy, and you generate energy by your habits. Make it your goal in 2026 to stop going to bed because you're collapsing and start going to bed to rest. You go to bed because you're closing the day, not because you're collapsing. And what that means is that you get to live with more energy, such that you don't lie down because you're tired. You lie down because it's time for you to sleep. That's because you're operating from a higher level of energy where you never run out of energy. Sometimes you go to bed, you are too tired to sleep correctly, where your body just falls in whatever position it falls. But if you went to bed with a little bit better energy, even the way you breathe when you're asleep, even the way your muscles, your limbs position themselves, you actually rest. Most nights we don't rest, we just collapse on the mattress. Even the mattress is like, can't you position those legs and those hands better? You don't have any energy remaining. It's the end of the day. You doze, anytime you doze off, you don't doze off. You collapsed. So my question to you is, now look through all of them. My question to you is, if 2026 would be what you want it to be, where would you want to rate yourself? Where would you want your order to get to, your energy, your clarity, your desire, your ownership, and your capacity? Where would you want it to get to? I want you to just specify a number. You cannot use 7. Where do you want it to get to? 7 is called no man's land. I don't want you to use it. Can I see in the chat box, or anybody who wants to unmute and tell me where you want to get to? Can I see in the chat box? I see Sheila. Thank you for being the first one to share. Sheila wants to get to 8. Apostle Charles wants to get to 9. Yes, Bishop, I see you. 10. Wairimu, 8. 9. All right, I will now move you to the second part. And what I've given you, it looks very simple, but it would take up to 3-4 hours to fully unpack this. But these pieces, this is the entire framework for an amazing 2026. If I get honest and you get honest about these elements, a deeper level of awareness on each of this, it will culminate in greater capacity. I will be ready for more of what I'm praying for, so that eventually I can be fully ready for everything that I'm praying for. Now, I want to take you to the next part. What I want you to do is write down for 2026, what are your top 10 goals? What are your top 10 goals? And I would like you to actually write them down. I don't do lectures, I do workshops. So this is a workshop. What are your top 10 goals? Please write them down. That's the only way we move. If we are not doing the actual work, we might as well just play YouTube in the background and scroll on the phone. What are your top 10 goals in 2026? Please write them. I am going to ask some of you to share. Otherwise, we'll just be dealing with theory. What are your top 10 goals? There is no judgment here. We are being real. We are coming to the level of awareness. What are your top 10 goals for 2026? I'll give you 30 more seconds, and then we will engage. What are your top 10 goals in 2026? Fantastic. I'm going to call out a couple of you just to please share what you have. Apostle Charles, Ekaluk, Mary, Chris, Alpha. Would like any of you just go ahead and unmute and share.
Okay, I didn't get to 10.
Okay, yeah, that's the goal is not to get to
Hello.
all of them. Just share what you have.
I want to operationalize WISE. WISE is an NGO that I registered last year.
Okay.
And I've not had a chance to operationalize it yet, but there are a couple of things that I need to do before I get to that place.
Okay.
And then I would like to read the Bible the whole year, the whole Bible during the year, and then read at least a book every month. And I also have a very disturbing business that I would like to have closure to that business so that I can free myself to do other things.
Okay.
Can I stop at that?
Continue. Just give us everything you have, whatever you got to.
I've basically given you what I and I would like to start a YouTube channel. The reason is I want to start telling Bible stories so that we can have, because with WISE, we're going to be dealing with widows and orphans. So I want a channel that the children can use to learn about the Bible and the Bible stories.
Okay.
So basically, I want to start that as well.
Okay. All right.
And yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you for sharing those. Who is next? If you had your name, you are next. Don't wait for someone else. Let's go.
I would, in this year, want to do a few things. I've also not gotten to 10 yet, but I have put down at least 6
Okay.
of the things that are in my top, most things I want to do this year.
Yes.
Not even I want things I'm going to do this year, want to achieve this year.
Yes.
One, I have a program called Marketplace Believers Network that is supposed to be operationalized this year.
Okay.
Where we'll be bringing people, believers in the marketplace together to help them get to know what to do, how to do, when to do, being that we are living in somewhat in the perilous times. And the church needs to stand and know where they're supposed to be. 2, Reforce Election Summit, where we bring believers just to be reactivated in the faith. And we've been doing it before, but we went down just to rest and find out what God wants us to do. So in doing so, kind of my energy went down because I just wanted to see, open my eyes to see. So this year, I'm bringing that back up.
Okay.
Then 3, I want to publish my second book, which has already been done, everything, just in the we're getting into the publishing step.
Yes.
And I have a passion for farming. Let me say I have a passion for land. So this year I want to see not only portions or parcels of land, but I want to have a land, at least an acre and above, so that I can start seeing what I want to do.
Next.
Then I would love to have a degree this year in anything theological, anything theology. And the 6th one, I want to put a foundation back in the village so that at least people can come back home and find, well, he's not just in the city, but he's able also to do something back in the village.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Apostle Charles. Can I get 2 more? And I would like you to just mention the goal really quickly.
Hello.
Yes, Alpha.
Daktari. Wakile.
Yes. Proceed.
There you are. Okay, 2026.
Yes.
Goal number 1, I want to get married.
Mm-hmm.
Goal number 2, I want to start a church. Indiana in the coastal region. Number 3, I want to read at least 15 books at the end of the year. Number 4, I want to pray more in tongues this year.
Okay.
Then the last one, I have a passion for children. I work with children. At least I want to have like 15 fun days for children this year. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Can I get one more person, then we will move? At the count of 3, if there is no one, we'll go.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead, Chris.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Chris, your internet is letting you down. We can hardly hear you. Chris, your internet is letting you down. Let's go with Ikoluk, then we'll move.
Hello down there. I have 5 goals here, and this year I pray that God shall open ways and
Please unmute. You're muted.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Sorry. Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
One is I wanna proceed to my own house, and I want to construct an house.
Okay.
At least I move from rent to my own land. Secondly, I want to start a business, alternative business, which can generate in more funds to my current business.
Okay.
The third one, I have a talent in singing, majorly in church, praise and worship. So I want to proceed and to make that talent at least fruitful. You understand? Then number four, I want to open a YouTube channel. At least when I have like administration somewhere, you can get me through those channels. Then number 5, back there in home, back there in the village, we have like 5 acres of land that we usually do farming. So I want to make that improvement and to venture in modern technology and to emphasize more on crop rotation, so that we may get a large output, so that we may generate a lot of funds to. That's all.
Yeah, thank you so much, everyone, for sharing your goals. First assignment for you. Yes, first assignment, if you are serious, for the next 30 days. For the next 30 days, you take a blank page and write down the goals from your head. The reason you couldn't get to 10 that quickly is because the goals are fuzzy. So on your clarity, all of you that have shared your goals, if I scored you a 3 over 10, I will be very generous. I'm speaking to you as a coach. I have to help you. If you share a goal and you say you understand, does it make sense? It's because you are searching for clarity yourself about the goal. Do you commit? This is a question to you. You don't even have to answer in public. Do you commit that you will write your goals daily for 30 days? If you don't, we are wasting time. That points back to order. That points back to energy, points back to clarity, points back to desire, points back to ownership, points back to capacity. Even when I ask the question, when you hear the question, do you believe you can do that on a consistent basis for 30 days? This is when awareness becomes real. Because trust me, everything will change. That is number one. Number two, there are things that must stop being goals in your life and they become lifestyle. Reading the Bible is no longer a goal. It's a lifestyle. You stop setting it as a goal because it is automated into your day. You know what time you read the Bible, for how long, period. Reading books should stop being a goal and it is automated. You start the year knowing I will read 15 books. I may not know all the books I will read, but I will start with these 5. In January, I will start reading this book. I will read at 6 p.m. for 30 minutes. You automate it, no more negotiation, period. That's how you make order practical. That's how you make ownership, because you are owning the commitment to that goal. So that when it gets 6 p.m. and it's the time to read the book, then you can decide, do you want to go on WhatsApp or do you want to actually read the book? And that's the test of your ownership. That's the test of your capacity to steward the time you have. That's the test of your order. Are you orderly enough? I'm asking you as a fellow believer. Are you man enough or woman enough to own up and show up where you said you will show up? Are you man enough and woman enough to live in a way that reflects that you don't just serve the Kenyan government, you serve a higher government? Are you man enough to reflect the standards that government requires? Automate. There are things that must stop being goals. They must be automated into your day. They are automated. There is no more negotiation. And this is now where I will share with you what I call the DCR. DCR. The DCR protocol is just 3 steps. Number 1 is decision. Number 1 is decision. And I was reflecting. Where did my reflection tool go? I was reflecting about why we get caught when we have a very strong desire to go in a certain direction, why we get caught. And I will just share with you a few of them. We get caught because we have not decided. Instead of deciding, this is what we do. We have thought about it, we have hoped, we have wished, we have desired, we have visualized, we have worried, we have ruminated, we have agonized, we have weighed, we have talked, we have written, we have prayed, we have planned, we've expected, we've presumed, we've intended, we've noticed, we've been interested, we've been fascinated, we've admired, we've counted the cost, we've resolutioned, we've prioritized, and 14 other attributes. We have done everything else except decide. Let me tell you today what a decision really is. If I gave you a goat and a knife, decision changes that goat from one form to another. Decision is a knife. Decision changes identity. If I give you a goat and you put a knife to the neck of the goat, it stops being a goat and becomes meat. That is the power of decision. You have not decided until you have cut. What are you cutting? You're cutting out other alternatives. If you haven't cut out alternatives, you haven't decided. If the decision hasn't resulted in a new identity, you haven't decided. You might have wished, you might have desired, you might have talked about it or even prayed about it or even meditated on it, but you haven't decided. If I give you a piece of bread, the whole bread, and you put a knife to it, part of the bread is no longer bread, it is a slice. The identity of the bread changes from bread to slice because it's been cut. Where do you need to cut? Where do you need to cut? Which goals have you been carrying since 2005 or 2015 or 2018, and you still have them in 2026? Because you have wished, you have desired, you have worried, you have noticed, you've been interested, but you've never cut. And because you've never cut, you have carried other alternatives. You are still dating your possibilities instead of marrying your vision, so that you are always available in the market. You've never really. When you get married, your identity changes. You become husband, you become a wife. That is the power of the decision. You decide, I'm getting married, and we know that a decision has been effected because an identity has changed. 2026, if you are still holding on all the alternatives that you have been weighing, it's all you are doing is you are thinking about it, hoping, wishing, desiring, visualizing, worrying, ruminating, weighing, intending, but you are not deciding. After you decide, the next step is commit. A commitment is very specific. What is a commitment? A commitment is the allocation of resources and focus. You can't tell me you have committed unless you tell me what resources you have allocated. I will give feedback to everyone whose goals I listened to. Some of the goals you listed are overlapping with each other. Let me give you permission. I want to give you permission for the next 5 years that you don't do any charity. Don't do any charity for the next 5 years. But during those 5 years, if you develop your capacity to steward your day to day, you will show up with greater capacity to do charity at a much higher level. I don't want you to do charity when you are operating from broken order. I don't want you to do charity when you're operating from no clarity whatsoever, no ownership. When someone like Bill Gates shows up to do charity, the level he's doing charity at is so high. That's because he has developed the capacity now. He can actually do charity that is impactful. Don't do charity when your day is not fully ordered, when your clarity is still searching, when your ownership is on the ground, when your capacity is still lacking. Are you going to get 100% capacity? Not necessarily. Decide. And then after you decide, after you cut the alternatives, then you commit. Commit resources and focus. The resource that we underestimate the most is your time. Your time is very limited. Please write this down. You only have 3 resources. The only 3 resources you have is time, energy, and attention. Your time is fixed. Your time is fixed. Your energy is flexible, but you have to get into the habit of generating energy. But everything boils down to your attention, the quality of your attention. That's why clarity is so powerful. If your attention is drawn in all directions, you are like a butterfly that is jumping in a flower orchard. It's jumping from flower to flower to flower to flower. It doesn't stay long enough on any flower to get the nectar. Your time is fixed. Your energy is flexible, but you have to be intentional to generate energy so that you no longer rely on rest to give you energy. You generate energy by physically working out, making sure you're getting adequate sleep. And then most importantly, your attention. Facebook wants your attention. WhatsApp wants your attention. Instagram wants your attention. NTV wants your attention. Everyone wants your attention because that is the goal of 2026. It's not crypto. All the wealth is in attention. Your next level is in your attention. Your assignment is in your attention. Energy is fixed. Energy is flexible. Time is fixed. All your productivity in the present moments come down to attention. You decide, you cut out the alternatives, and then you commit resources, time, energy, and attention, and focus. The quality of your focus is the quality of your attention. Then after you commit your resources, then you resolve. So this is the true definition of resolve. Resolving is deciding that it is done. It is done. And from the Bible, one of the biggest resolutions is it is done. And you know where that is. It is done. What does that mean? Once you commit that you are going to read for 45 minutes every day at 6 p.m., you decide how long you will do it before you change anything. It is a resolution. When a board meets to discuss a company's future, at the end of the meeting, they have resolutions, and those resolutions stay in place until the next meeting. The problem with you and I is that we keep changing resolutions. At the end of the day, what we decided yesterday has already been changed. So we don't stay consistent long enough before we make changes. Everyone that shared your goals, I know that I would have wanted like a much deeper session to actually dissect each of your goals so that you get to clarity. And then you decide, which means you cut, which means you create an identity, a new identity in each of those goals. And then you resolve, you commit, which means you allocate resources, and then you resolve. Here is my challenge to every one of you. Resolve to write your goals down every day for 30 days without fail. You write them. It's a resolution. What does it mean? It is done. You've already resolved that this is done. No matter what obstacle I face, I am going to write my goals for 30 days. Number 2, whatever the goals you've decided to focus on, you create an order in your day. What time do you wake up? What time do you work on each of those segments? You fix that order for 6 months. That is the power of resolution. Resolving that for, maybe you might choose 90 days. You resolve that this is fixed. I am going to stay with it long enough to see my patterns. Long enough to see the times when I want to take shortcuts. Long enough to see the times when I want to be distracted. You stick with it for 90 days, maybe for 180 days before you change it. And then at that time, you can now review what has happened over the 90 days or over the 6 months. So, what is your key takeaway from this session today? What do you carry from this session today? If I interacted with you 3 months from today, I ask you your goals and you tell me I will pray at this time, I will ask the Holy Spirit to give me the control not to slap you because some things need to stop being goals. Some things need to become a lifestyle so that you protect your energy for the bigger things. Automate your day to the point where you have energy remaining and attention to focus on what truly needs to be goals. And once you have a goal, you decide, you commit, and then you resolve, which means you decide a structure and a rhythm, you maintain it for 90 days before you change it. I wish I was talking to you from theory. I went from a school whose name you have to sit down, swallow your saliva before you pronounce. I was in Kirongorori SDA Mixed Secondary School that nobody had ever gone to university from. I scored an A from that school and went to medical school and went on to become a doctor. And when I looked back, that's when I understood what had happened, what I had stumbled on that led me on this pathway. And I continue to use this day in, day out. It's been my delight and pleasure to share this session with you. I wish you a beautiful, beautiful year. And now I will hand over to Bishop. I will have probably up to another 10 minutes before I have to run out. My name is Job Mogire from the House of Mastery. Over to you, Bishop.